Hello, my friends. How are you? I am back here with you today, adjusting the camera so I can speak to you clearly, and also so you can see me clearly. Okay, so first of all, I want to begin again by thanking you for indulging me in my ruminations and reflections, and for encouraging me to come here every day, because it is your participation and our exchange with each other. Namaste, Ramanand Dikshit. And our exchange with each other that allows us to get more clarity. And without that exchange that I have with you, there would be no clarity for any of us. So I think it is important to recognize this and acknowledge that. And I want to just acknowledge my gratitude as well to you for allowing me to share these experiences with you. As you can see, I'm still adjusting the camera, and I'm going to let it go now. I think it's good enough as it is. So today I want to share with you the idea that you can experience yourself as an immortal being, and that is your choice. It is a choice that involves both a shift in identity, but also a shift in perspective. Okay. So let me start with an example, and then we'll see how we can explore what I'm calling immortality of being in timeless now. The immortality of being in timeless now. I chose that phrase very, very carefully. Okay, so now let's imagine for a moment that I'm moving this object from here to here. Okay, and it's very obvious that when I have the visual experience of this moving object, that the space within which this object moves, the space itself doesn't move. If I am in an airplane, I'm within the space of the airplane, and I'm going to India from New York, then the space through which the airplane moves doesn't move, nor does the space within the airplane move, nor does the space within the airplane move. In fact, the space pervades all of space-time and also transcends it. I'll repeat that. The space moves through space and time, pervades it. What did I say? Objects move through space and time. They experience space and time as biological organisms, and they transcend it. Space pervades this object and transcends it. In fact, the experience of an object is not possible without the space surrounding the object. The experience of an object is not possible without the space surrounding the object. Okay. In fact, it is the space itself that is modifying itself as the appearance of the object. the space has no form, but it modifies itself as a form, as appearance, as appearance, as perception, as an activity of consciousness. All objects are the modified form of the formless. This space is not the same space we mean when we speak of the theater of space-time and causality. This space even transcends the experience of space and time. It's referred to in wisdom traditions, in Eastern wisdom traditions, as Chit Akash. Chit means awareness or knowingness. Akash, the infinite, boundaryless, unfettered, substanceless screen of awareness modifying itself as experience and labeling that experience as an object. Okay, so let's go a little deeper into this. On the day that you as consciousness showed up as a biological organism, you were given a name by your parents. And then that name was identified with the activity in awareness that we call a biological organism, which started off, of course, as a fertilized egg and then became a zygote and an embryo and an infant and a child and a toddler and a teenager and on and on. A changing perceptual activity, non-local awareness, modifying itself into a shifting activity, given a name and objectified as a biological organism by common agreement. So I was told, you're Deepak, you're Indian, and this is the name of your parents, and on and on, this is your economic status. So I was basically cajoled, convinced, bamboozled into identifying myself with a particular mode of experience. And then as soon as I modified myself into that particular mode of experience and I identified myself with that, then I became that experience. What we see, we become. And by becoming that experience, I contracted my non-local self into the experience of a local self. Okay. So now, here's a very simple key. Instead of calling something an object, painting, wall, this and that, refer to it as an experience. The experience, given a name, is an object. The experience in turn is an activity of witnessing awareness. And witnessing awareness is the way that pure consciousness begins to localize itself as an experience in space-time and causality. In fact, no experience has a geographical location nor does your body have a geographical location, because no experience can be captured or sustained. All experience appears as subtle and gross objects, or what we call subtle and gross objects, on the screen of consciousness. The screen itself modifying itself evanescent as that evanescent, ungraspable experience. But identifying with it creates the false identity that I am a person along with other persons and other biological organisms in a world of space, time, and causality. In fact, no experience has a geographical location. None. Therefore, all experience is ephemeral, evanescent, ungraspable, and dies as soon as it's born. The only thing that remains is the awareness in which that experience is happening. Okay? So if that's clear, then let's do a very simple exercise, okay, to shift your identity from the field of mortality to the field of immortality. And this is the choice you have. The choice you have is not to identify with the objects that appear on the screen of consciousness. These objects can be subtle, like thoughts, emotions, images, feelings, ideas. Or these objects can appear as gross physical objects, books, hands, paintings. But all these so-called physical objects are actually modulations of the self as this and everything else. They all go together. So a shift in identity from a person or a relationship or an event or an idea or a feeling, a shift in identity from that to the awareness of experiencing that. A shift in identity from the object of experience to the pure awareness of experiencing it. Then you'll realize that even as I travel from, or the body-mind experience travels from New York to India, awareness does not travel, just like space does not travel. Awareness pervades every experience and is independent of experiences. Awareness pervades every experience, is independent of it. So my body-mind experience travels, or seems to travel, but the awareness in which that happens never leaves home. So the secret to immortality in timeless now is to never leave home. Allow the experience to come and go as it pleases, like clouds in the sky. But you are the sky that is ever present, in which the clouds drift. They come and go, they disappear, they appear. And so too, bodies and minds appear and disappear along with their associated perceptions. But the awareness in which that happens is timelessly now and present. In fact, even the experience is a presence. And presence has no location. Presence has no location, no geographical location. By giving a name to an experience, we localize it. Ramanand Dikshit, you would understand this, as Nam Rupa. Nam Rupa means appearance or form. But the name and the form is the localization of the formless. Just as every object is the localization of experience, but the field in which the experiences are happening is totally formless. So yes, be present to presence, Ramanand. That's very good. Be present to the presence of being in every experience, and also be present to the presence of being in the absence of every experience, eternally and timelessly and formlessly now. So I may have mentioned this before. I have a practice now which is a modified form of yoga nidra. So before I go to sleep every night, I shut my eyes, and that allows me to shut off what I call visual experience. After that, I focus on auditory experience, and that's all I'm experiencing. And then I finally pay attention to experiences as sensations in my body. And I recognize that those sensations are all happening in formless being and are actually islands of experience in formless being. Just like the book or the hand is an island of experience in formless space, modifying itself. This simple shift at night even allows me to dive deep into the formless being. Ramanand Dikshit again, meditate on the body. So actually right now you've given me a hint to something very profound that is mentioned in Kashmir Shaivism as part of the Tantra teachings of Shiva to Shakti. And this is what the sutra says: meditate on your body as the universe and having the nature of awareness. That's the key. Meditate on your body as the universe, localized, and having the nature of awareness. And suddenly, you are in the field of immortality. So in the Bhagavad Gita, of course, Lord Krishna uses the expression kshetra. Kshetra is field, and kshetragya is the knower of the field. You are both the field and the awareness of the field. In fact, awareness is the field. And so whenever you localize your awareness, you become a body-mind-world experience. As soon as you shift your awareness from the experience to the field in which the experience is happening, then the experience ultimately also sinks into that field, and you recognize that no thing, no object has a geographical location, because every object is an experience and no experience has a geographical location. You, as being, have no geographical location. Although you can localize yourself theoretically into infinite experiences. So the multiverse is actually true. The multiverse is different localizations in different dimensions of space-time in an infinite awareness. An infinite awareness can only experience itself in infinite ways. And we are that infinite awareness. We are both the field and the knower of the field. Localization, geographical localization, is an idea. Aurora said that just now, but the idea itself has no location in space or time. Okay, so everyday immortality is the reality in timeless now. Thanks for your indulgence.